quick announcement at the end of the video. Make sure to watch till the end. Alright guys, welcome back to another logo design, I guess, tutorial. I don't know what really call it, but we've been working on this logo for the channel. So we got the gear all sorted out last episode, and we've basically been working on the pickaxe part, which is something that we're kind of working like we're going to keep something very similar to what we have here, but it's going to be more detailed. And this is kind of like the reference image that I'm working on, which is probably well, it's from ChatGPT, so it's kind of what I've wanted. I prompted it, I have the chat saved and everything. So but basically what I wanted to do was a very similar outline for like the pickaxe. So I wanted it something kind of like that. We'll probably have like the little part that comes up here, and not sure about the gem just yet, or what I want to put in the center here. I haven't really decided if I want to put anything in there, to tell you the truth. So I'm just kind of going to leave it for now, and then we can always do it later. So I'm going to merge down these two layers just so we have everything on the same layer. Now I'm going to start prepping the thing by making sure that I have the line tool ready, and we're going to make sure that the aliasing is off, and I'm just going to also select the quality to pixeled, so it's like that too, so it's the square pixeled version. And then I need to make sure that I have the same width, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm assuming that I went with a 10, maybe a 30. Yeah, it seems like a 30. Okay, so that's good. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and start with a probably a red color, and then we can always make it darker and manipulate the shade and everything later. So I'm going to start with kind of like figuring out where I'm going to. So I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to kind of bring it across like this. So I have roughly a idea of where the pickaxe border will be, and probably want to make it a little bit more straighter. So we'll see if we can't do something like that. Looks mostly straight. So bring that out a little bit more, maybe not that much. So something like that. So that will give us our baseline for where our you know what, that's probably not going to be wide enough, is it? So we'll probably have to bring it a bit more, maybe from here to here, or maybe just over. I think we'll bring it just over, and yeah, I would say about there. So this will be our kind of our access point of where everything's going to go around, and kind of like the center of gravity kind of thing where the part will come. So for the other color, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer, and I'm going to kind of bring this down a little bit, and I'm going to bring that over to this side. And then what we can do is we can bring this up, these two parts here, and that's going to be way too high from what I think. So we're going to bring this down a little bit. So something like, now we could use shapes as well if we wanted to, but we'll see how this goes first, because I want it to have kind of like an arch too. So I'm trying to keep the gravity part about the same for each angle, and I want to make sure that it's roughly the same for the angle that it's going from, right? So we might even want to kind of make this a little bit more down. Bring that out a little bit more. Maybe about there. Now, looking at the shape, it's not exactly round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize some of the vanilla shape. So I'm just going to delete that, and I'm going to go ahead with probably a circle, and then that way we can get that nice round shape, and it'll be even. And then we'll kind of rotate this around and bring that out a little bit more, maybe less. Let's see what we can come up with. So that might be a little bit too round. Bring it down a little bit more. Yeah, so something like that could work. Bring it out a little bit more like that. And we'll make sure that the angle's right. We can use our, what do you call it? The line that we drew to kind of angle it properly. So right on the edges there, so that will work there. And then we don't need all this part down here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just delete that. And I'm going to delete it to probably this part here for now. And then we can start working on figuring out what kind of angle that we want the tips and stuff to go. So I'm going to leave those parts there for the time being, and then I'm going to create a new layer. And we're going to kind of grab our line tool. And I want to see if I can't... okay, so how far down am I there? About there. So we'll see if we can't make this a little bit more better. So we'll see if we can't bring these 2 points up to here. And I don't think that's going to be enough shape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring this from here to here. And we're going to go ahead and kind of design the angle a little bit like that. So, and we can even do some intricate designs over on this part to kind of blend in the what do you call it? The part that connects to the thing. So we'll see if we can't bring that a little bit down. And I think what we'll do is we'll kind of curve this a little bit more too. So we might not do that full part here. Might delete that part. We could just draw it from scratch too. It won't be perfect, but it would work probably. So just kind of bring this out a little bit to about here. And we'll kind of bring that to about there, I guess. Kind of arch it a little bit too. Might not want that full length, so I'll bring it down to there and kind of round out the edges a little bit more. And then what we can do is we'll do the other side as well. Now what we could do is, now that we have this part, what we could do is we could do half of it and then flip it, and then that would allow us to kind of have half of the pickaxe too done. So we'll see if we can't create that nice intricate design. So we'll bring it to about here, I guess. Or yeah, we'll probably go about there. And then we'll try to get the other side flipped. So what we'll do is we'll duplicate this layer, and then what we'll do is we'll kind of copy this by removing the outline, or not the outline, but like the part here. So we'll copy it and then we'll paste it, and then what we can do is we can actually we'll paste it into another part here. And then we'll flip this around so it's on the right side. And that's not going to be perfectly aligned. So what we'll do is we'll have to angle this a little bit, so we get that same design. So it's still not angled correctly. So let's see if that, yeah, a little bit more, I think. Yeah, that could work. Maybe what we could do with that part in the middle is we could add a gem or something like that to there. I'm not sure just yet. So I'm gonna clean this part up right at the top here first, and just make sure that these both merge into the same part. So we'll just go from here, bring that to there. Might even want to bevel this a little bit. if we're going to put something in here, then we might want it to kind of be beveled as well. And then we have something to work with, right? And if we're going with a gem, let's see what kind of shapes that we have to work with. We have some of these pentagon and other shapes here. We could do something like that. We have a 5 shape. 5 shape might work. If we do something like that, we'll have to work around the thing that we just designed, but we could make this work. Bring that out a little bit more, a little bit up. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably, just looking at it, right, and not sure if this is exactly even. I don't think it is, but it looks almost even with the line, like the angle that it's on. So I think it's just mostly the part up here that's the problem, though it could be the whole other side too. So let's see if we can't improve that a little bit more. Let's grab that copy that we had, and we'll try to match up with the lines here. So we'll delete that. Oh, not that one, this one. And we'll try to get the angle right. So something like that maybe. Let's see if that's gonna work. That's about right. About a little bit more like that. So we have that part here. And then we'll clean up this part. So we'll have to revamp that other part here. So go back to, was it this line? Yeah, so we'll clean up this, just this line here. And then we'll try to bring that around to the right angle and stuff. So sure what layer I need to go on. It might be this one. There we go. Okay, so about that, and then what we'll do is we'll bring this up to, we'll start over here, I guess, and then we'll kind of bring that down a little bit, and might even want that a little bit more into here, so we'll do kind of like that part. So bring that over to here as well, and then we'll connect these two up like that. So this could work. I like that kind of arched design, so that shape also fits really well in there, and we could even move this up a little bit more. What we'll do is we'll create that connection for this part right here. We'll probably bevel that a little bit, or what we could do is we could bring this down and just a little bit on the outside, and let's clean this up a little bit more. So we'll go to this layer, is it? Yeah. We'll go to the other layer, drop that down a little bit more, and we'll bring this down to about here. And this will be kind of where the part of the pickaxe goes in. So I'm actually going to bring this a little bit closer, I think. So we can even do like an angle. And an angle here. And then what we'll do is we'll bring this down. We'll clean up the edges in a little bit too. And then we'll bring that down a little bit more. And then we can kind of bevel this at the end here, because it's not going to be a straight line. It's not going to be a straight line when you think about it, because it needs to go around the pole, right? So it just makes sense to have the line a little bit curved. All right, so that would work. And then we could also draw another line up here. So it's kind of goes like that, and then that would be its own kind of part here. I think that would look good. And let's see, what else could we do? We could Well, let's clean up the area first so we can see what it looks like without all the lines and stuff. So let's disable some of these parts here. So that's basically what we're working with. And I could bring the points up to here to kind of the center. And then we could work around our gem for this design. So something like that. And if we wanted something a little bit more or less pointy, what we could do is we could even select this and create a new layer, and then we could shrink this down a little bit. And we'll use this as a guide for our outline. So where our lines will meet up. So bring this down a little bit more because I don't want like a huge area. And then what we could do is we could basically bring our lines like that, just so it's the same width. And then we can connect our points up to those, so kind of like that. And the top part. So that would actually look pretty cool. Now let's see what it would look like with the rest of it. So kind of like that, I think. And then what we can do is we'll start working on that shading color. So we'll go ahead and turn this, all the blue parts that we've basically worked on. So merge those blue parts down onto the single layer. And then what we'll do is we'll go to advancements, turn this to the grayscale. And then what we can do is we can use the brightness and contrast to darken this. So we'll bring the contrast all the way up and the brightness all the way down. And I'm just going to double check to make sure that the... actually, you know what? There is some anti-aliasing here. I think I might have messed up on the lines when I was doing that. We'll shift all our blue layers down, and we'll see if we can't select the parts that are just kind of hovering out here, and we'll fill those in with color maybe. I have to kind of go along here and make sure that I get most of them, if not all of them, selected, so might take a little bit of while to do, but just go to the other side, double check these. All right, so good on that. I'll paste these in here. And we'll set our fill up all the way so we can kind of get the anti-aliasing disabled. It's mostly good for that part. We'll clean up the edges as well before we merge it. So kind of bring it down like that maybe. And we'll do the other side as well. That wasn't exactly a perfect line. Sometimes you have to make several attempts to actually get that right line angle too. So that one was good, so I'll leave that one there. And let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna use the pencil tool to fix that one. And let's see here. Up here we have a couple lines that need to be erased. So we can kind of blur that a little bit. So that's good. We can fix up some of these parts. That one needs to be filled in. A couple of these need to be filled in. We'll round them down a little bit so it's easier to fill those in. And let's see here, we're almost at 20 minutes too, so I'm trying to keep the videos around 20 minutes. So just quickly fix this up and then change the shade, and then I'll cut back in when I get the grayscale all set up, and then we'll be ready for the next episode. So let's quickly do that. Alright, so I got something a little bit different. So this is the original thing that ChatGPT gave me, and this is the outline that we've been working on for the last couple episodes now. So as you can see, it's a lot different than what the original was from what ChatGPT gave me, and we've been working on the outlines as well as the detail Next episode, they're going to start working on getting the shading in. This will take a little bit of time to do because we'll need to kind of paint in the shading parts of the thing. I think what we'll do is we'll probably start with the cog first and get the shading done because that's pretty intricate for how many different shapes and stuff, and then we'll start focusing on the pickaxe and then finally the gems around the pickaxe, like the cog part itself. So I think that's the general idea that we're going to be working with, is kind of like the cog, and then we'll start working on that. We'll need to create a palette of something that will work. I don't really want to use the gold from here. I'm not too happy with how the gold kind of color. I asked for brass, and brass doesn't really look like that. At least not from what I've seen before. So we're going to kind of create our own palette and work on the cog itself. Now for the other parts, I was thinking probably keeping the same green that we have here for the emerald part for here. And depending on what we want to go with, I was thinking maybe rubies for the gems. So we could do something like rubies or something for those parts. And that would allow us to have like green, red, and yellow kind of theme. And then we'll have some brown for the post, and maybe some beige for the pattern for the what do you call it, the kind of grip support here. So we'll have a few different shading things here. I'll have to play around with palette and work on that next episode. But outside of that, if you are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for the more tutorials, which are coming out next week. And we will have, after that, the following week, what we'll do is we'll continue working on this project and making it a little bit better. So outside of that, thanks for watching. I have this friend that has their own server hosting company, and they have the lowest prices in the server hosting community, and they've given me a promo code to give to you guys. So if you want to get a good deal for the first month, then you can use the promo code Northwest for 45% off your first month. Offer expires July 19th, 2034. The link to their site is in the description.